the most bizarre results I get? Back there. So, I'm going for the Indian burial mound explanation of it, but it could be that it's just the group farthest away from me. I don't know what the explanation is, but really, really strange results have come from back there.
So is it just this desk in particular, or just this general vicinity?
It's that general area, that quadrant. Or the most likely Nobel Prizes coming to my students, coming from people back there.
We won't disappoint.
Pardon?
We won't disappoint.
Nice.
I'm going to tell you, I will.
Okay.
There's one lab where you're supposed to run a current through this aluminum strip, and the aluminum strip is supposed to puff out. And the worst case scenario is usually just sort of twitches, but usually you can see it if you set it up just right, that the aluminum foil will puff out. Back there, you turn on the power, run the current through the aluminum strip, it came towards each other. Complete opposite of anything that should have happened. And so I switched the wires so the current, instead of going this way, went this way, and it worked, which that should not have made a difference.
Definitely experience.
What if there's some ghosts like playing a prank? They're like, it's lab day, we gotta come in.
That would explain a whole lot of physics labs right there.
It's their job to come in and mess up results.
I was about to say damn them, but I guess they already have them. Okay, now, the actual mechanics of the lab. The main point of this lab is to learn how to use the equipment. Meter stick, I'm trusting most of you are good with. However, occasionally there are some issues that do pop up for whatever reason. The caliper and the micrometer are the ones which are usually newest. Who in here has worked with a micrometer before? Is that 1.5?
Not a metric one.
That still works the same way. And then the vernier caliper, who's had experience with the vernier caliper? A few more, all right. So what I'm gonna do is do the train the trainers kind of set up right here. Once you break up into groups, then we've got, I think 5 groups of 4. I'm gonna ask one person from each group to come up here to learn how to use probably the vernier caliper first. Preferably not someone who has experience. There were, I think, 5 people in here who raised their hands to some degree on having used vernier caliper before. Preferably not one of them, just to share the wealth, unless they're feeling really uncomfortable with using it. But they'll come up, I'll teach them how to use it, then they will go back and teach their group. Then I'll call someone else up for them, each group will send someone else up for the micrometer, and we'll do that scenario there with the micrometer, and then they'll go back and teach the people from the group. This does not mean when you get sent back that you're not going to ask questions, so please feel free to ask questions. This is just the process. This is to get the ball rolling, and hopefully you remember enough so that next time you're using this equipment, it'll be a little easier the next time. The equipment. Oh, when you are done with the lab, please put things back. If you do not know where they go, please ask. That usually comes in and one person gets the equipment, brings it over, someone else is putting it away, doesn't know where it's supposed to go, and they just stick it down someplace. Then later on when I'm looking for it, I can't find it because it's been put someplace bizarre. So please put the equipment away back where it's supposed to go. There was one class that was really bad about putting equipment away. I usually took it out on the next group I had, so don't make me do that. I acknowledge it, I apologize to them, but still, it put me in a bad mood. And, so meter sticks. There's a box, there's a small bookshelf over here, there's power cords right on top of it, and just to my left, and I presumably your left too, because we're all on the same side of this, there's a box there with meter sticks in it. The vernier calipers, there's a box on the bookshelf that's on top of the desk, to the left of the cooler. On that bottom shelf it says a box and it's marked vernier calipers, cleverly. If it were turned around, I think it says forced table box, or there's some other completely different word on it. Anyway, that's the vernier calipers. The micrometers are the shelf above the vernier calipers off to the left. They're in the little black boxes. The spheres and cylinders. You'll need the rectangular solids, the blocks. Got wood shapes right here, as well as other shapes right here. Spheres are the balls. We also have cylinders and spheres down here. An annular cylinder is just a cylinder with a hole in it. So we have bits of pipe in here as well. That officially is an annular cylinder. However, might be too wide. Oh no, just need height and mass requirements there. And then any other questions before I talk about face shields? Face shields? Face shields.
I'm sorry, did you say where the triple beam balance?
Triple beam balances are on that table back there, bottom shelf. The ones on this next to the bottom shelf are, that's the, if you're desperate. So the triple beam balances right here. Anything else? Traditionally, I've forgotten something, and shortly after you begin, I'm going to remember it, or someone's going to ask a question, and I'm going to go, oh, I meant to say that. Then I'll just yell out to the group. All right, face shields. We are still in a pandemic, and you will be working very closely with someone else. While you are next to someone, I do expect you to wear a face shield. I know that they are a nuisance. If you need to take it off because it's fogging up or for whatever reason, back away from your group to take it off. But if you're next to somebody, please wear the face shield. And this last bit, the groups, when you're making up, I'm not going to break up the groups. I'm not going to tell you how to make up your groups. And I will intervene only if we end up with a group of 5 and a group of 3, I'm going to ask someone from the group of 5 to move over if you haven't done it yourself. But I don't intervene in how groups are made unless I have to. And you'll hear me say this many times. Don't forget, rejoice, because this is physics. All right? Do your groups, do your lab. Rejoice, a little bit.
You want to do Hey, do you want to interview? Alright, so we need one more period.
My coordination kicked in.